This is the most discussion of
wild.
jizz that we've ever had on this show. We have talked about dildos, various types of sex toys. We talked about people being pegged, like, but
Yeah.
jizz play is not a thing that we have personally discussed.
Every new podcast is an opportunity it's an educational opportunity. You're gonna go to bed tonight knowing more than when you got up this morning.
That's what we're here for. I got my classical studies minor for this.
Welcome to the Skippy and Fanny Show's Torture Cinema.
If you find our lost plot, please return it at the front desk.
What about if you find all the lost in the land?
That works too.
You can also return that at the front desk.
Oh my gosh, yeah. God, good lord. This
is why you don't leave a movie in the bleach that long.
That's true.
This is what happens.
Yeah, it's true.
And the suntan lotion didn't kick in until about halfway through the movie, so
it's all white and then it falls apart.
Yeah, they try to get around it with that beautiful red lamp work, but doesn't really quite do the trick. Yeah. So
they were like, look, we've made 1,000 copies of Chadwick Boseman. That counts, right?
Well, I mean, to be fair, it does have more people of color technically than any other movie we've covered, just because Chadwick Boseman is like multiplied 100 times.
Like they fucking Xerox Chadwick Boseman.
With the worst line delivery and accent.
No, we'll come back to it. No, we're coming back. We're coming back to that shit. We're gonna come back to it. No.
I mean, did they inject him with horse tranquilizers before they started filming? Like, Jesus Christ.
Yes. You almost killed Becca.
Yep.
Well, see, that's how they got him in the movie. Like, he didn't want it. He looked at it and he was like, are you fucking shitting me? This is like so many white people in a movie about Egypt. And they were like, yeah, you're right. It's okay. Go ahead and go. And as soon as he turned to leave the room, they just like fucking tranked him. Yeah.
Oh, he had
so that's what they spent so much money on.
That's right. Yeah, horse tranquilizers.
I thought it was the wigs, but it was the horse tranquilizers.
Yeah, they definitely didn't pay anything for the wigs. Like, those were like some shit left over from Land of the Lost. Like, there's no way they paid
and then they
good
got
money.
reused on Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Like, Nicholas took them.
It's just the same wigs.
Especially
like, it's the same
that
8
braid.
wigs just traveling.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
The things those wigs have seen.
They've seen some shit.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, the wig that the main guy wore in this absolutely is sentient.
Right?
It's like crawling around. It's like the fucking Thing. Then they're gonna make a new Thing movie, and he'll be the star.
Had magical
So,
curl power.
I do want to say, and we'll come back to this, and then we'll actually do the rest of the intro shit for this. I did find it amusing as we were watching this movie last night, and I'm sure, Alex, when you were watching it, some version of this came up in your mind. This movie did get criticism for its portrayal of Egypt and having basically no Egypt actually there. And shocking. I know. How could you possibly criticize this? But I find it really amusing, and I haven't looked deeply into it, so there's probably better reasoning. But now apparently there's a new Cleopatra movie coming that's getting criticized for going too much the other direction now, because Cleopatra is being presented as basically sub-Saharan African, darker skinned. And so now there's a critique of like, well, that's not what Cleopatra was Greek. And so she would have been more olive toned. And so, no, we can't go that far the other direction. Yeah, that's kind of my thought too. Like, okay, like, sure. But here we are. Like, basically nobody can play Cleopatra anymore. They just need to not make any, I don't know.
I mean, I would just say, like, tell you what, why don't we have as many Cleopatra movies where Cleopatra is like sub-Saharan African and fucking gorgeous until that evens out with all the ones where she's been a white lady.
And then you mix them together.
And then we can talk.
You get it in the right tone.
I mean,
I'm sorry.
Like, I don't know. Yeah, it's just it was just weird. Wait, what Coded Duelist is mentioning in the chat? Remember when Velma from Scooby-Doo was Cleopatra,
right.
like from the live action movie?
Yeah, right?
What? She played Cleopatra? That's kind of wild. Well, anyway, we got the rest of this.
It was the animated one.
Oh, the
Yeah.
animated. Well, that's a little
Oh,
different, I guess.
She like
so.
disguises herself as Cleopatra's ghost.
Yeah, because that's how it works.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know, if I just wear some stuff, I look like Gerard Butler if I put on a Scottish accent.
You do
I
have the
don't know if you
beard.
know.
That's how we can tell you're out of the three of us. That's how we can tell you're the evil one, because you have the beard.
Oh, true. Yeah, that's really important.
And now you need like the Scottish accent that gently comes and goes.
It's more. He has mostly British, and then when he's yelling, it's distinctly Scottish.
No, I don't know if gently is a word I would use for his Scottish accent. He is remarkable for being like one of those actors that, like, of all the Scottish actors that we know by name, he can never mask it. Like, he's American. No. He's Scottish. He's just like a Scottish who's been abroad for like 5 minutes. Like,
I mean, what I love the most about Gerard Butler is you can just tell he has paid a fortune for those teeth, and he is gonna kind of like Joe Biden. Like, he has paid a fortune for a mouthful of beautiful teeth.
True.
And he is going to rip every scene apart with them.
He does. He really does. Oh.
Like, he's got an excellent, like,
every time he screams, they're just there.
Yeah, they're just there.
I mean, he learned it from 300, right? Like, that infamous scene is all teeth. This is Sparta.
Well, I thought 300 came out after this. Did it not? Am I dumb? No, I'm so dumb. This was 2016. Never mind.
We had not.
It was 2006. That was 10 years before. Anyways.
Yeah. And I want to say, 300 was when Gerard Butler just like became a meme. Like, that was after that he was suddenly like the action guy that everybody wanted to have chew on their scenery.
I mean, it doesn't hurt that he is fucking handsome as shit, and looks good without a shirt on.
He does have a winning smile.
But I want to say, like, he was like, I don't know what was going on in Geostorm, but he actually looked distinctly unpleasant in Geostorm.
Let me go look this up.
And by distinctly unpleasant, I mean, like, he looked like an actual ordinary human being who had perhaps gone on a slight bender over his vacation, and they dragged him onto the set while he was still hungover.
It's the neck beard.
Oh,
exactly.
He's got a neck beard, and it ruins the jawline in the like lighting of the film, so he doesn't have the jaw.
His jawline's all fucked up, and like, yeah, the Gerard Butler jawline is like a national treasure for Scotland. Lest we forget.
So speaking of forgetting, hi, I'm Sean.
Oh, hi, I'm Becca.
I'm Alex.
And if you haven't figured it out,
and we all really love Gerard Butler's jawline.
We do,
and the fact that he's in terrible fucking movies that are fun to watch when he's on the screen.
So in case you haven't figured it out yet, we're here on this, our 4th ever live torture cinema of our Skipping Fanny Twitch channel. And we're going to be sharing what we're drinking, which clearly we've already pre-gamed this a bit.
I mean, I have no excuses.
You're going to be horrified when you hear what's in this glass.
No, I'm not, because of what I'm drinking. Anyway, probably.
I love that you both are trying to like make it so it averages out that I'm not drinking.
Oh yeah. Look, I went thematic-ish, but anyway, we'll get back to that.
I didn't
we'll
go thematic. I went missing ingredient. What can I put in this?
So the college method.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. Anyway, we already have talked about random, somewhat inappropriate things, and we are going to discuss 2016's Gods of Egypt. I didn't write this down, but it is directed by Alex Proyas, who's known for Dark City, but has also made some real stinky shit movies. So there's that. But it stars Nikolai Coster-Waldau, Gerard Butler, Brenton Thwaites, Courtney Eaton, Chadwick Boseman, Elodie Young, and some other folks you probably will recognize. This movie was chosen, as we noted earlier, by a poll that was put up on our Patreon page, and so patrons voted for it. And I have affectionately referred to this poll as Gerard Butler's trash, because it included this movie and at least 3 other bad movies that Gerard Butler has been in that are genre related.
I'm just like looking at Alex Proyas' filmography, and I'm gonna say, like, having not watched his short films that he's credited with, I do feel I can comfortably say he has not directed a good film since Dark City.
He has not. Because what's the other big film he did that isn't good?
Knowing.
Yeah. That came before this.
And the terrible 2004 iRobot.
That one's okay.
I like
that one. Oh, I like. Okay, Alex, we will have a fight later. It's fine.
You are weak and you will not survive.
That was an excellent insult. Let me write that down.
That's a good one. Yeah. Fair point. Yeah. Knowing is, it has been on a Torture Cinema poll. We have yet to watch it because it's a Nick Cage movie and it's not good.
So what does Gerard Butler need to do to kind of reach the Nick Cage level?
He needs to start being more insane in his movie.
He has to do a movie where he doesn't say a word and yet is still the most important character.
He needs to give that, like, I can't do it, but he has this like way where he like looks at you kind of sideways and he like gets his jaw up and he just kind of does this. I look like fucking weird Popeye when I try to do it, but like he does this like disappointed look a lot in 300 where he doesn't say anything, but he has that like cool beard and he just like looks like he's thinking, but he's disappointed in you at the same time. That look, and he needs to make a whole movie where he says nothing, literally nothing, except at the very end, he just says like a random Scottish word that actually doesn't mean anything.
And he needs to be like fighting puppets or something.
Yes. Oh my God.
I'm just saying he needs to be in the sequel to Willy's Wonderland. Is what
That's what I want.
And then at the end, you find out he's actually just been fighting street lamps.
Amazing.
It's basically Don Quixote, but Scottish.
Because did you see what is it? The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent?
Not yet,
I haven't
but
watched it
I
yet,
want
but I'm so excited.
It's so good.
It's pretty
Anyway.
good.
But there is a Nick Cage movie coming out soon that I'm really, really looking forward to.
Oh, the Renfield?
Mhm.
Yeah, where he plays Dracula.
Mhm.
I mean, apparently, like Nick Cage, like he even knows it. He'll be on set and he'll just be like, "So you want the full cage? Got it."
He filed his own teeth down and got veneers so that he could have pointed teeth. That's what I read. I read from the director. He said he actually filed his own teeth so he could have pointed teeth.
But he didn't like do it himself. Like he went to
No,
a dentist.
like he didn't like take a he's just like like fucking watching Netflix while he's just
that would have
filing
taken a
his
lot more
teeth out.
cocaine.
Just needed to clarify his.
I mean, I would just note he's probably not actually had his original teeth for decades because it's apparently pretty common in
Does
Hollywood
anybody
to
in Hollywood
replace your
have their
teeth with
original
veneers.
Like,
I can tell you, Tom Cruise does not.
yeah.
Oh, absolutely not.
Nope. No
He's got the
man's
teeth
teeth
from
at
some
nearly
alien.
60 look that white and perfect. I know, because I
mean-
take very good of my teeth, and I am much younger than Tom Cruise, and my teeth are not that white and perfect. Anyway, shall we get to what we're drinking?
Sure.
So yes.
So, who's first? It's Becca.
Oh,
Becca,
it's me.
What beverage are you drinking?
So I started out wanting to make a dirty Shirley Temple. And so I poured the grenadine and I poured the vodka. And then I realized I didn't have any lemon lime soda, but I did have a lime truly.
Is that like a
It's a
Like
hard seltzer.
Oh, no.
Nice.
So I poured a lime truly over my vodka and grenadine. And that's what we've got.
Just in case Truly happens to be watching, we will take endorsements.
Delicious. And then I've got water because drink responsibly, kids.
Yeah, emphasis on drink responsibly. We do have beverages, which I will note sometimes are alcoholic, as Becca has pointed out. But please, if you are imbibing alcohol, please do so safely. Seek treatment if you have an alcohol problem. First step is admitting you've got a problem. I don't have one.
That got so serious.
Just letting you know. Really cool. What about you, Alex? What are you having?
Well, I mean, my only problem is I still can't drink alcohol because of the medication I'm on. So instead, I'm drinking a delicious Dr. Pepper Zero Cherry.
You mean Dr. Pepper Cherry
Zero
Zero
sugar.
sugar.
Whatever.
Not zero cherry.
You're just
That's
drinking a
very
regular
different
Dr.
thing.
Pepper.
Fine. Dr. Pepper Cherry Zero Sugar.
From now on, I better
Wow, I
mention.
love how you're like, but you're like drinking like alcoholic toilet water and you're policing the name of my beverage.
No, from now on, I'm just gonna. If I'm having a soda, I'm gonna make sure you know what's not in it. I'm having a Diet Coke, no vanilla. Like, a Diet Coke, no cherry. I'm having a Mountain Dew, not red.
I'm having a Baja Blast without the Baja.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh my god. Just tell us what kind of fucking bullshit you're drinking, Sean.
Hold on. I'm having a carbonated beverage sans lemons because it's just carbonated water, baby. That's
yes, and
right.
you're drinking it directly from Seth's nipples, not it. So it's oily.
Wait, do you think Seth's nipples, like, do you think he lactates like seltzer water?
I mean, he bleeds gold.
That would be kind of cool. Like if he.
Well, and the question is it Set that lactates seltzer or is it Gerard Butler?
Imagine,
No, Gerard-
just imagine
No.
for a moment for me, lactating a carbonated fluid. How bad would that feel?
I feel
That's
like
why
it'd
he's
tingle.
always grimacing all the time.
I feel like it'd be somewhat erotic. It'd be kind of tingly. You'd be like, psst. You're like, oh, ooh, like.
I mean,
No?
actually, no, I'm sorry. My bad. Since he's Scottish, if he lactates anything, it's Irn-Bru.
Yeah. There you go. It's some
My
sort of
bad.
like peaty whiskey. Yeah.
He's got 2 nipples. You can have 2. It's fine.
You can have 2 different kinds. He's got
Irn-Bru
different
from
levels of
the
aging.
right, or sorry, Scotch from the left.
The left is an 8-year, the right is a 15.
Anyway, Sean, what toilet water are you drinking?
Come on now.
Again,
Be nice
if
to
you
me.
find our
You
lost
were
plot,
nice to
please
me.
return it at the
You were
front
nice.
desk.
Anyway, I am having an alcoholic cocktail that does not contain soda. It is called a Little Egyptian. I will just note, I just Googled this, like Egyptian cocktails, just to see what I'd fucking come up with. I feel like this is not accurate, but it has dry vermouth, sherry, and then sweet vermouth, a little bit of bitters, and then it asked for like a little bit of absinthe, like the kind you put on the edge and then you like get rid of it, and then so it's just like a hint. But I tasted it and went, no, this is no, I'll put a lot more absinthe in here. So it has a little bit more than a dash of absinthe. I will not be hallucinating tonight.
The movie did make me want to hallucinate. I feel like if I hallucinated something, it would have been a better movie.
Jerf is saying in the chat that this sounds delicious. It does not. It is not. Like,
Not delicious.
I wouldn't say it's bad. It's just not.
It's very
like, I don't-
alcohol.
It's reasonably smooth. It's just kind of like you drink it and you go, if someone gave this to me, I'd finish it. But like, I wouldn't pay money for this. Some of this might be because when I looked up the recipe, it was like lots of like fancy designer vermouths and shit. And I don't have that because I am a professor. I don't make that kind of money. So maybe it's a special kind. Jerf has also noted it lacks depth. It didn't when I made it. I made a double and I'm down to less than a single. And we are
just started.
we just
We
started. So I should have put like
Okay.
one of those maraschino cherries in it though. That would have been
I even
good.
have those in my fridge.
You want to put one in?
I mean, yeah, sure. I'll shove it through the microphone. But be
Awesome,
warned, it does
perfect.
occasionally end up somewhere else.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay,
So,
we gotta discuss this movie, which
well,
means
actually, I mean, I do believe we need to give a summary.
That is correct. Yeah,
Summary.
that now raises the question. It's not me. So who is going to be giving the summary?
It's gonna be me because Becca
I
sucks
suck
at
at
it.
summary.
Okay.
I suck at summaries. Don't let me.
So Alex,
Okay.
give us the completely accurate, really nuanced, analytical English major capstone project description.
So, like many movies that have been made by modern Hollywood, where they take ancient legends and then try to put a new twist on them, this movie is actually about America. And you can tell because, for example, the central conflict is between the brothers Osiris and Set, where Osiris is a socialist and Set is a capitalist. So, because Osiris is a socialist because he says that everyone gets to go to the afterlife no matter what. And from each according to their own.
That's a fair point.
Notice that's what he says at the beginning. And then Set is like, no, that's not cool. And then stabs the shit out of him and is like, now the afterlife will be a capitalist hellscape that you have to buy your way into. So Set does evil capitalism, and all of the gods are white for reasons except for Thoth, who we've Xeroxed just to get more Melanin into the movie. And then there are 2 humans that I really don't care about. One of them is named Beck, which is an amazing name for an Aladdin knockoff. And he is the archetypal character that we saw in like the shitty Clash of the Titans remake, where he's the white guy who is like, I don't need no stinking gods. And by the end, he learns that gods are actually super cool and his friends, and he wants to like pray with them or whatever.
Pray with them.
And then
Yeah, as you do.
and so he doesn't need no gods. Egypt becomes a capitalist hellscape under Set. His girlfriend, Beck's girlfriend, gets enslaved while I guess he's, off doing like a set at a club. And she talks him into going and stealing Horace's eyes, which Set plucked out. And a bunch of stuff happens that I didn't really care about. And the movie's really padded out to get to like, I think it's like 2 hours.
2 hours and 7 minutes.
Like 100 minutes for absolutely no fucking reason. Anyway, and then at the end, you find out that Set's actual end game is that he's going to take pieces from all the gods, like their special thing. Like he takes Chadwick Boseman's brain and one of Horus's eyes and one of Nephthys's wings and some other stuff so that he can become like super god. And then he goes and he murders Ra so that Apophis can drink the Nile and end the world so Gerard Butler can finally leave this movie. And then Horus stops him and reveals himself to be a Jesus analog, because then he's like, it is good works that will get you into the afterlife. The end. Evil capitalism is over. Now it's good capitalism.
But don't forget, he also makes sure that the lady and her thieving Aladdin stand-in come back to life because he needs his friendos.
The power of friendship.
Because it was the power of friendship, and he asked Jeffrey Rush to do it, and I was honestly shocked that Jeffrey Rush went for it, but good on him.
I love that Jeffrey Rush is in this because he's just like,
I love that Jeffrey Rush is Ra, and he basically plays Ra like Ra's Barbosa, who's had a haircut.
He's just like having fun.
Yeah,
he's got nothing really to work with other than shooting at a green screen from an imaginary scepter he's not really holding. Yeah,
we're gonna more into that later, but that is my summary. It's basically like, a sort of transition from socialism to capitalist hellscape to capitalism with Jesus.
Yay!
But where Horus is Jesus because he's the Lord of the Sky. I don't know.
Yeah, he's the fly god. He flies a lot.
And then Gerard Butler got to send one of his kids to college with the paycheck.
Oh, in real life, not in the movie. I was like, wait, what?
It's like a big plot point that he doesn't have kids.
A plot point in the movie that he can't have kids. I don't know.
I mean, he certainly got some free college and then some out of this movie. He definitely didn't get a small paycheck.
Oh, no. Bless his heart. He was having a great time. Yeah. So anyway, that is my summary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's pretty accurate.
Yeah. I mean, short summary. Aladdin ripoff.
Yeah. I mean, I will note that for a movie that's purportedly about Egypt, we've already cited multiple times the lack of, like, melanin in most of the cast. I would also like to note the lack of both dicks and jizz, which are, like, very, very important to Egyptian mythology.
Yes, I did.
Completely absent from this movie.
Hold on. Can you please explain to me like I'm in a college seminar on Egyptian mythology? What's this?
Well, like, for example, when Set stabs the shit out of Osiris, what he really should then do is like chop him up and then throw all of his parts into different places where his wang can get eaten by a crocodile, so then his wife can make him.
Okay, so and also the original like deciding who's going to have dominance, Set or Horus, is like basically dominating in the very sexual sense. And the reason that Horus eventually wins is because when Set does his business, Horus catches it and throws it into the Nile, and then rather than like having it go in him, and then Horus puts some of his own jizz on lettuce and has Set eat it, and so therefore when the gods like are listening to their claims of dominance, Set's claim comes from the river, but Horus's comes from inside of Set, so Horus wins. And that's real.
Yeah.
That's literally in the contendings of Horus and Set.
Lettuce was also considered to be an aphrodisiac in ancient Egypt. So
that's why Tot was trying to figure out what that was called, because it was lettuce. That was like a reference.
But hold on. So is the reason he doesn't the way I'm gonna have to say this is like the most fucking pornographic thing I think we've ever discussed.
Egyptian mythology is weird, yo.
So the reason he does not want Set's business to be left behind and inside of him,
specifically
the
inside.
emphasis on inside.
That's the important part.
It's specifically because of the dominance thing, not because he like there's other properties that might be involved. Like
no, it's just because of the dominance.
But why the fuck are they fucking in the first place? That the goopy
Set
doop
is
would...
trying to prove his dominance by seducing Horus.
But does he succeed in seducing Horus?
No,
Well, I'm so confused. Then what? Like, does Horus just play
because
along?
instead of doing his business inside of Horus, Horus like reaches between his legs and catches it in his hand and throws it in the river instead.
Yeah, and then Horus gives Set a special lettuce wrap.
Yeah, very special lettuce wrap.
So he basically gave him lettuce with ranch dressing.
Yes.
And he ate, and Set ate
So
it.
therefore,
And
it's
therefore
coming
Horus
from
won.
inside the Set.
Like the call of
Yeah,
the
call of the spoon is
the
coming
le-
from inside Set. That means Horus wins.
Okay, sure. I just
Egyptian mythology is wild, man.
this is the most
It's so
discussion of
wild.
jizz that we've ever had on this show. We have talked about dildos, various types of sex toys. We talked about people being pegged, like, but
Yeah.
jizz play is not a thing that we have personally discussed.
Every new podcast is an opportunity for it's an educational opportunity. You're gonna go to bed tonight knowing more than when you got up this morning.
That's what we're here for. I got my classical studies minor for this.
How do you not know? I'm sorry, but like, I have a penis. Like, I feel like I would kind of know that, like, it's
What, do
not
you think-
going where it was supposed to be. Like, you have sensation. Like, how did he not know? Like, does Horus just have like really anal hands? Like, is that just what it is? Like, what is? I'm sorry to get
Yeah.
into the nitty
Does he
gritty.
have butt hands?
In between
It
his,
was
but no,
between
like,
his
that's different.
thighs.
That's not the same. I'm sorry. What the fuck? Set's
Look,
an idiot.
We're not here to explain it. This is just what the mythology says, bro. Like,
Yeah, like I can't tell you the details. I wasn't there. I just read it.
I guess his thighs are like amazing, which it raises questions about this because apparently he just lost a shitload of weight to play Horus in this. Like, he lost fat, so he just was like
Mhm.
very thin, muscular, like a runner mostly. And I'm like, what I'm really hearing is like he should have like kind of thickened up some of those like bottom bits a bit.
I mean, I
like,
feel I don't like the way that you're body shaming Horus at this point, Sean.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with his.
Like, I know you want him to be a thick daddy, but leave Nikolai alone. He's pretty hot.
I'm
It's
not
fine.
saying no. This is just purely on the like sticking with the mythology for the logistics of this story.
Well, no.
Mhm.
All I'm saying
Anyway.
is, why is that not the movie we got? Was just like fucking.
Well, it
It's
would
a
have been a
sex
much
game.
better movie, wouldn't it?
It would have been very different. This conversation.
That movie is on Pornhub, not here.
I mean, like the only like slightly kind of accurate references we get are the lettuce joke, which I'm glad somebody managed to get that in there, even though it was quite sad. And then like the giant obelisk, the extremely tall black dog with the
Yeah.
face running up one side, which I was like, woo!
But notice at the bottom is like
It was.
there's basically a testicle that is his own face. So you walk inside his testicle to get inside the fucking tower, and then you come out the top.
Mhm.
Were they not thinking about the optics of it? Like, it's a giant,
Well,
like, self-insert, like,
dicks.
he's wanking himself at the end of the movie. Like,
Yeah.
And then his own,
Yeah.
like,
I mean, that's the most Egyptian mythology thing about it.
and his own nephew basically cockblocks him.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Can you imagine, like, the fucking Thanksgiving dinner just being like, oh, hey, remember when your nephew cockblocked you? How's that feel, Set? Like,
I mean, considering that happens after Set murders his nephew's dad,
he
it
might.
was already going to be a pretty awkward Thanksgiving.
Fair
dinner.
enough. He might not be invited at that point. That's a fair.
He might be off the list.
Oedipus
They're
too.
just like, Set, you killed Osiris and you're a Fox News watcher. You are not welcome in this house.
Oh my god, he would be. He'd be like real hard into Tucker
He would
Carlson, and I
be.
mean that both metaphorically and literally.
Uh-huh.
I can't believe I made that joke.
That man loves bow ties. I don't know.
Oh.
So
Anyways,
we should
now that
have
we
our-
are thoroughly on
So, you know
track.
what? Let's go ahead and do our lights.
Yes.
Now that Sean has completely
Yeah,
lost
sure,
control of the podcast.
I have a like that we can talk about while Sean
No, I am gonna
regains his
cock block you.
composure.
I'm gonna do my like first to get it in there.
totally fine. Hopefully it's not the same as mine, because otherwise
I will
I'm
say
fucked.
that for the most part, I did not give a shit about like all the CGI stuff, and there were some okay visuals, but I actually really liked the scene with Jeffrey Rush as Osiris on the boat. Like all the stuff that happens around it.
You mean as
Sorry,
as
Ra
Ra?
on the boat.
Okay.
Yeah. Like that was really good look. Like that looked really cool. I actually like that.
I really liked how they portrayed
Yeah.
Apophis in that. It was really interesting, and like, yeah, typically he's a serpent in most of the depictions, but like looking more like a lamprey with all the teeth, and like that was really cool. And just that I did enjoy that scene as well.
Was really cool, and just like the way they designed the boat, and they've got the sun on the chain, and then when they're like, no, we've made this fantasy world where the world is flat and he's like dragging, I was like, okay, that is cool.
Yeah. That whole sequence is great.
Flat Earth theory confirmed.
Great. It's just really playful and fun in a way that a lot of the rest of the movie kind of isn't. Like,
isn't at all.
I think that first shot when we see that the Earth is like a disc and he's dragging the sun around, and then he's like, "Pcha, shooting his lasers out of his spirit. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, or I mean, like, I loved it when he was like winching the sun in. I was like, yeah.
It's all we were talking in the chat when we were watching this. I'm like, what? Like, he's Ra. Like, why doesn't he do like all? And it's like, no, that's kind of the whole deal with Ra. Is like, for him, like getting his hands dirty and actually doing the work is actually really important compared to like Set would just figure out how to automate this shit as quickly as possible because he's basically Elon Musk. And like, that's the huge difference. Like, Ra is like, no, like, you have to learn your lessons. He even says that in the movie. Like, I set these tasks for you so that you could pass these tests because they would show your mettle. It just so happens that I guess he grossly misjudged Set's conception of his mission in life. So
yeah.
Oops.
But I mean, also, like, and I love the first time you see Ra on the boat, he's got an old school whetstone and he's like sharpening it. And then I was like, is that Jeffrey Rush? I'd almost forgotten that. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Good for you, Jeffrey Rush.
I also really liked how he was like spotted kind of, and you could see like that it was like sun damage.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't look like a perfect golden god. He's an older man who's been doing this hard work for eons. Like, he looks kind of rough because he is kind of rough.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's the best part of this whole movie is that whole sequence of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
only they've done more.
Yeah. Well, why don't we just make a movie about Jeffrey Rush as Ra?
You could have fun with that. Like a little like short.
I mean, Jeffrey Rush would have a hell of a good time.
Oh yeah. Like, he'd have like a rabbit who was his friend or something. Like, he would just because why not? Like, there'd just be a fucking rabbit there, and he would just like talk to the rabbit. He'd eat like.
Well, I mean, that way we could bring mythologies together because he could be friends with the rabbit that lives on the moon and pounds mochi.
Oh.
Wait, what? Wait, hold up, what?
Adorable.
That's
Japanese mythology, I think.
By pound,
instead of a man in the moon,
I want to be clear.
There's a rabbit on the moon, and the rabbit pounds mochi.
We mean this literally.
Mochi, and that's why there's a crater.
Mochi with okay.
Yeah,
in,
like he's
in the crater,
got, like the mochi hammer.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to be clear. I cannot hear words like pound and crater innocently right now because you have set my mind.
There is no lettuce. It's mochi, not lettuce.
Is mochi?
I know
innocent?
it's sticky and white, Sean, but it's not that kind of sticky.
You've done this to me.
Now I want Japanese food. Damn it.
Oh, sushi sounds really good right now. Yeah.
I could order myself some Japanese
I could
food.
too, but you know what? We're making a podcast.
I'm poor.
Podcast
Pants.
I'm poor.
I had a $2,000 loan bill come out yesterday. I can't afford sushi.
I love that. Like, we're like, oh yeah, we could do it. And all we hear is this like quiet little peep. I'm poor.
Well, I mean,
anyways.
according to Horace, what you do in life is all that matters. So you don't need to save the money to get into capitalist afterlife.
That's true.
So.
That's true. Really good for you. Yeah. Well, great. Well,
I need that.
The color of that drink is just
it's remarkable.
terrifying to me.
Alarming, right?
Yeah.
I put a lot of grenadine in it.
Yeah.
That would would do it. That would do it.
You know what? It would have been
Radioactive.
topical.
It's like the same color as your lipstick, or is it just your?
I'm not wearing lipstick.
Oh, no!
I'm not. It's just the lighting.
Are you sure?
Just change your lips.
Yeah, no, this camera picks up reds really weirdly. So it just makes all reds look
I'm
really
waiting for you
weird.
to
So my
tell me
lips
like
look
the
really...
shirt I'm wearing is not actually green. It's like
No, it is.
okay.
Ah,
You're good.
I was
It's
gonna
just
be
the reds.
scared.
It just fucks with reds.
Interesting.
okay.
Which is why this looks especially vibrant.
Like,
It's not
super.
it's more like the strawberry or it's more like the strawberry refresher from Starbucks in real life, but it looks alarming.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like something I would inject into somebody before I put them into a CAT scan. Like
It's MRI fluid.
I'm just gonna put some tracer in you. It's
Contrast dye. That's what it is. I'm
Yeah.
drinking contrast dye.
fine. Think about it. You're from the nuclear medicine department.
Well, on the subject of Becca, what is your like?
Oh yeah, what is your like? Since I
So-
stole mine.
Yeah, no, you're fine. So I understand. Disclaimer. I understand that it's not historically accurate, but I actually really did like the costuming
Yeah.
for this movie. Like specifically the women's outfits. The women were useless in the movie, but they did have gorgeous outfits. Because like they were so pretty and bejeweled and so much good cleavage.
There was a lot of good cleavage. That's true.
I'm very gay and
Yeah, I can go with that. I mean, since they seeded it so firmly, like in the this is a complete fantasy world, though you don't really see it until you see the flat Earth. You're just like, okay, yeah, you know.
oh, Jerf, there are so many good tits in this movie.
I feel like this is the first time someone
Sorry.
has. No, never mind. We just objectified Gerard Butler earlier in this podcast. Never mind.
Yeah, you can't. You can't call me
I
on
mean-
anything here. We've already done this.
Well, we could continue on by saying like the lady cleavage A+. There was not nearly enough of Gerard Butler's tits. They kept showing his
No, because he was wearing that
tits, which-
stupid cuirass the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, bless his heart, he's
Dress?
not a bad looking guy, but you are right in one sense, Sean, that he doesn't have like, he's like an A cup. It's not.
Well, I was thinking more like.
He doesn't have the middies.
Yeah, he doesn't have the middies
Which are-
like Gerard does.
Well, hold on.
Yeah.
The thing we would get with Gerard Butler is what we got in 300, which is we get a just gorgeous ass shot.
Okay,
Wait,
but
do
that
we-
was
Yeah, you
that
get
was a
to see
problem
his-
because there was no good ass in this movie.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing like. Did I miss?
Not in this movie.
All the ass was flat in this
Oh.
movie.
It's not in this movie. In 300, Gerard Butler has a beautiful sequence with Lena Headey where
He's got a
where he-
dump truck.
well, I mean, I don't really understand what that means because whatever, but like he just has
He's thick with two C's.
he's got a nice tush. I'm just like, like it's you could imagine that if he were, in Horace's position, he might not have done the reach around. Just saying. Please save me from myself.
No,
No.
keep going.
So Becca's like was the cleavage, which is correct.
No, specifically, I liked the costuming.
costumes,
I'm
yeah.
sorry,
It-
I misrepresented.
Those costumers definitely had a lot of fun during this movie, and I liked that part. I thought they had some pretty women, and they accentuated the pretty women, except there wasn't enough.
Were they walking down the street?
pretty women?
Oh my god.
They
As
did
long as
have
it's
fun.
under 30 seconds, we won't get DMCA'd.
That's true. Yeah. Also, I don't really care. We don't make money on this channel.
Yeah.
So like, oh no, they DMCA takedown notice. You can't stop the freedom. Can't stop it, fuckers. Anyway.
Anyway,
Yeah, so I agree. Yeah, the costumes were really quite fun. Maybe they could have thought of some more functional costumes for some of the women.
distinctly, some of those fabrics were far too sheer.
Yeah.
And not, actually any good for sun cover, which they would need.
True.
All of those people would have died from skin cancer. Every
Well, I
single
mean,
one
they're
of them.
gods, so but oh, you mean the humans. Yeah.
All of the
that's true.
humans died from skin cancer.
That's true. Well, little you know, but that people back in ancient Egypt lived to the age of 25, and this is why. Look, I learned this on Ancient Aliens, so which, as we all know, is a completely historically accurate documentary.
Yes, totally.
Mm.
After all,
Aliens.
if they made something that looks sort of kind of like an airplane or a bird, it must mean they had seen airplanes and thus interacted with aliens. That's only logical.
Because it's well, I mean, because I do remember that the aliens for Scientology had spaceships that looked like 747. So there you go.
Oh, so it was
We
the
just
whole
connected
time
all. We
the
just connected
pyramids
all.
were made by Thetans. Whoa. And then they started a volcano and became ghosts, and then the ghosts went inside us, almost the same way like Set wanted to do with Horus. Is that what I'm hearing?
Totally.
And that what happened was the ancient Egyptians
I mean, I feel like Scientology would be more interesting as a religion if there were more like ghost alien sex.
More interesting.
Any religion would be more
my
interesting
God.
with more ghost alien sex.
But
Tell me I'm wrong.
This is a true statement. No, this is a true statement.
Hold on, like, but only like if people are like into it, like.
Well, I mean,
Right,
that,
like,
consent
isn't
is
that
key.
like the key with religion? Only if people are into it.
Yeah, well, I mean, let's be honest. It's not like religions have a long history of just being casually like, would you like to join? Sometimes they're like, would you like to join, but I will stab you if you don't. And I didn't mean that metaphorically. Just to be clear, that was like with a spear, with a pointing
I was about to
rod.
make a Catholicism joke, but that's in very poor taste.
I mean, they're cannibals, so whatever.
There you go.
Oh, the original cannibal religion. Okay, John, what is your like?
They're not the original cannibal religion.
Well,
but...
okay, that's
No, of Egypt or whatever.
Oh, of Egypt? Definitely not. My like, well, goodness gracious. What could I possibly like about this movie that hasn't already been said?
yeah, I mean,
Shit.
Gerard Butler's teeth.
The boobs and the costumes and the skyboat are all gone.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, the women in this are quite attractive, but so are some of the men. Some
Most
of
of some of.
the men. Yeah,
He's just like
You went from
downgrading
all
it.
of to most of to some of in the
he's,
space
like,
of
thinking
1
about who's
second.
available, like
yeah. It's really just one. To be honest, it's just Gerard Butler.
I mean,
Because the
I mean,
rest-
I will stand on Chadwick Boseman being a very like gorgeous man, but he's not presented in a way that invites you to be like, show us your tits.
I'd have to gag him in this one.
There's
make it
no way
happen.
you'd want to have like a dinner date with him. Like, absolutely the fuck not. That would be the most obnoxious date in your life.
He's the original Well Actually guy.
You're not wrong, because he would fucking do it. Oh my gosh. I will say that I thought there were some beautiful shots in this. Like, I know they were CG shots, but like that opening shot where they kind of come over the
Mhm.
mountains into the city, I
That was
really
cool.
liked that. I thought that was really pretty, kind of showing the pyramids and all of these kinds of things. I like the idea of this really opulent, very shiny ancient Egypt, even
Mhm.
if it didn't quite make any sense. And, like they just casually,
Hand wavy oasis
Yeah.
magic.
basically. But like, I like the idea, because normally when we see ancient Egypt, we don't really see it like where it's all pristine and like the pyramids are fresh and brand new and like
Mhm.
it's at its height. We kind of see, if we see it at its height, we're still seeing it kind of like weirdly run down and sandy and dirty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this was very pristine, which I feel
It's
was
built
really nice,
amid sand dunes
but also
that
not
are
entirely
swiftly
wrong.
encroaching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like it's kind of nice to have like, oh, look, there's the River Nile, and like that river actually is vibrant and there's stuff growing everywhere and it's beautiful. It was
Mhm.
really nice. I would have almost wanted to live there, except that Set took over and it turned into a shit. So
I mean, he was only in power for like a year and a half.
yeah, but
We
he
had
was
to
in
deal with
power
4
longer than
years.
that.
No,
built
it was like a year and a half.
no, he built like a giant fucking tower that's bigger than the
Yeah,
Burj
but they
Khalifa.
say in the movie like a year after Set took over and then the main plot starts.
Okay, well that's like in like weird like ancient religious.
Okay, fine.
text
A year
maps.
in this movie universe was like 5 years in our universe.
Yeah. This is like one Trump term is basically what this is. Yeah. I literally am
that
gonna
one
wait
down.
to say jokes when Becca's about to
I got
drink.
that one down without choking. We're
You're
good.
welcome. Yeah. But
Don't
anyway, I
quote
don't know.
that. Don't quote that.
There were some beautiful areas, beautiful places. It gets a little bit like shitty later on when it's just like CG festivals, but some of the stuff was just really well
Yeah,
done.
I mean, because it felt
There were
like,
lots of fake plants.
because it did
Yeah.
feel like the earlier shots there was a lot more like thought and intention and creativity, and then you kind of get into the back half of the movie where it's just like Sets
They ran out of money.
capitalist hellscape, and it's just like everything's a red filter and
Yeah.
stuff.
We spent too much money on this circle rig, so we have to use it a lot.
Oh my god, the fucking circle rig. Come on. Every fucking action shot does not need to
He was
use the
getting
circle
so
rig.
mad about it in the live watch.
God.
And
The-
none of them were cool enough to like warrant that kind of treatment.
Are
Anyway,
we, are we transitioning
yeah,
into
I was gonna say,
dislikes?
I
Because
think
I,
it might be
have
time for
one.
dislikes because I think we've run out of likes with
Oh,
now
yeah,
that we've run out of things to be like, well, this was kind of pretty.
This movie
Mhm.
sucks. Let's be
Oh,
real.
no, this
like
movie's
this
fucking
movie's not
awful.
good.
So like when I originally saw this movie back in 2006, it was because people had donated $305 to charity, which was not enough. I mean, and literally when I went into the Alamo Drafthouse to watch it, like at that point, the manager knew me and he knew if I was watching shitty movies, it was because it was a charity thing. And he was like, oh, how much did people donate this time? And I told him and he was like, oh, they did. That's not nearly enough money. You're gonna. I drank a lot of beer.
Yeah.
It's just, oh God, this movie is so, it's 127
It's so
minutes.
bad.
Like,
So
it
bad.
has no reason to be 127
It's
minutes.
127 minutes, and they cut scenes that left me like baffled
Yeah.
Yeah.
as to like how they jumped from place to place.
Yeah, like how did Set get the body of Zaya Zarathustra?
Zaya, you're
whatever
right.
her name
You're
is,
right.
yeah.
Zarathustra.
Yeah, how did he get her body? We don't know. It just like he just has her all of a sudden.
Also, apparently, she was laying in a grave that was meant for Osiris.
Yeah.
But it fit her perfectly. So how in the hell would it fit Osiris?
Yeah. Oh well, yeah, because all the gods in this are weirdly like 12
Yeah,
feet
they're
tall.
all like twice as tall as humans, so there's also just some weird.
Yeah.
There's a lot of.
And yet the water comes up lower on the human's leg than it does on the woman god
Yeah,
in the swamp sea.
There's some
Punked the shit out of me.
I mean, yeah, it's. Ugh.
It's not smart. This movie's not very smart in like almost any
Yeah,
respect.
I mean, you can tell like some of it was like they did like two separate shots of the scene and then kind of like put them together CG instead of like putting in the work to do, like Fellowship of the Ring it.
To do
Yeah.
the perspective shift. Yeah.
They were idiots. Yeah.
Anyway,
But Alex,
You'd think we'd be used to that at this point.
I mean, there's sometimes when you're just like, wow, you really did that. That's good for you. And then other times it's like, this might be a crime. So this is one of those times. Like when we watched Thanksgiving, we watched that and went, wow, you really did that. That was a bunch of decisions you made.
I
Interesting.
got to miss that one.
Yeah.
Thank
Gobble
God.
gobble, motherfucker.
Becca,
like-
you don't understand. I actually enjoyed Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because
It's
it was
not good.
exactly the movie it wanted to be.
Yeah.
Gleefully.
Yes. Unabashedly so.
Yes.
Where's the
I mean,
wig
it was a
pretending to
movie
be
that
the
had-
daughter?
That had one scene of turkey on human action and almost another one. So there you go.
Don't be Googling that later.
Yeah. Just
It's-
remember, his catchphrase is gobble gobble, motherfucker.
Yes.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
Oh
chef's kiss.
God.
Yeah, this film's a crime. But Alex, what is a thing that you dislike? What's your like most biggest ever dislike?
That it's hard to pick the most dislike. I mean,
Yeah.
because there's just
Yep.
so much to hate.
So
From, like,
much.
The wooden acting to the incomprehensible quasi plot to just so many things. But if I had to pick like one thing to home in on that just annoyed the fuck out of me, the fucking voiceover.
Oh. Okay, go on.
Okay. Elaborate. I can't even
at least
remember
it
the
wasn't
voiceover.
like the classic Sean rage of we put the words on the screen and then read them to you.
Right.
Because I know that makes
Right.
you insane. But with this,
Yeah.
I was just like, what fucking purpose does this voiceover serve?
That's fair.
It does nothing. There is no information it imparts that is useful. All it does is actually, on the rare occasion when it is imparting information, it's actually sucking any kind of potential dramatic tension out of the plot.
Yeah.
And it's also like a desperate attempt to like make up for the fact that all of these, like, I know that some of these actors are good. Like they can do good
Yeah.
performances, but not in this movie. Like the only reason we know that Beck and Zaya are super in love is because the voiceover fucking told us, because they had the chemistry of like you know,
A damp
The
rag.
wooden dolls.
yeah,
Yeah.
like two plastic
I mean, it's
blocks.
almost like they had the chemistry of Horus and Set in the original mythology.
You're really hung up on that, aren't you?
I'm going to be stuck on this for the rest of my life. Much the same way. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, but it's just like the voiceover, and also, I mean, the fact that, like, I'd have to go check and see who the actor was for the voiceover, but he sounds nothing like Beck. So, like,
Wait,
the only reason
it's Coster Waldo, isn't it? Isn't it he doing the
Wasn't
voiceover?
it?
maybe
Wasn't it?
I
It was
think
supposed to be Horus.
He's supposed to be Horus, which is why it's fucking
Yeah.
confusing. Because the voiceover makes it seem like it's Beck. But then later he's
But it's
like,
actually
but it's
Horus.
actually me. Look at me, Horus. And he's like drunk and waking up, and then he falls in a
Yeah,
giant
it's
pool.
it's supposed to be Horus. That's his bathtub. Be nice.
see, I
Okay.
somehow missed that, and I still think it's stupid.
It is stupid. No, you're not wrong. The switcheroo is
yeah.
like ridiculous. Why are you doing it? There's no reason for
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, because I think the voiceover was supposed to be the narrative framing for Horus telling the story after the fact.
But there's
This
no
was like
reason for
his
that.
retelling of the story.
Yeah, but there's absolutely no point to it.
there isn't any.
And the fact that
None.
I've now watched this movie twice, and both times I managed to miss that the voiceover was supposed to be Horus, should fucking tell you
Bullshit.
something.
Yeah.
It's not brilliant. Like, it's the voiceover serves literally no purpose,
no
because
purpose.
the thing with the voiceover would be it would be useful if it gave us useful information for the actual main plot.
Yeah.
But what it is it's a misdirection on the subplots. Like, Horus is like, it's his whole thing about like what kind of man he was. And it's like, that's not helpful for what because of the very first big major scene we get is like the big fucking ceremony where he's going to become king. And it's like, wait, hold the fucking fort. You didn't tell us about this shit. Like, what is going on here? The gods are like around, and like, could you give us that backstory? No, we can't do that. It's got to be like, look at this fucking weird guy in the greasy wig stealing a dress for his girlfriend. Also, mysteriously gets away from everybody who's chasing after him.
In a giant crowd that absolutely would not have.
It makes no sense. This is like, oh, we were doing Aladdin, but we wanted to cut all the fun parts out of Aladdin, where like he's actually like dodging and shit and like swinging around. We get a monkey scene later where he swings around like a fucking monkey and he's just like Chugs
You're getting
McGee
dangerously
from
close to my
the
dislike.
Indiana Jones movie, whatever that
Yeah,
fucking movie is.
yeah, that got very Indiana Jones. But like,
Yeah.
I mean, I think part of the reason it was confusing is because he's talking about like this, doing anything for this woman I love, which is, again, kind of implying the Beck and Zaya thing. But I guess that's also to be like, no, he super does love his goddess.
Oh, what's her name?
What is her
Oh,
name?
nobody remembers.
That's Elodie,
I have to go look
right?
at the cast list. Give me a hot second.
Hathor, right?
Hathor.
Hathor,
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Hathor.
I think they're
Who in the original mythology is also his mother
I mean, it's gods, whatever.
occasionally.
But like,
I mean,
it's more like if there are two people in this movie that have less chemistry than Beck and Zaya, it's Horus and Hathor. Like, they are so fucking unpleasant on screen together. It's just bananas. So I guess we needed the voiceover to tell us that they're truly in love. I don't know.
I can fix this right now. I know how to fix this.
Can we just like by deleting the movie from reality?
Well, that would be the better
That'd be
fix.
better.
But let me give you the secondary fix that would actually make this movie work. So dump all the Beck, Zaya, Zarathustra shit from the beginning. Right?
Mhm.
All that's gone. The beginning is just Horus and like his relationship with his wife, like show them like together and like being cutesy and lovey-dovey. And like there's this whole ceremony coming up, and it's just like, look how everything's wonderful. It's perfect. And then who shows up to fuck up the ceremony? It's Set. And Set's motherfucking pissed, and he ruins everything. And that's where we cut to Beck, who is just this like street urchin kid who's like in love with Zarathustra the Third or whatever her fucking name is, right? And it's them, and then he stumbles upon the Eye and Horus, and like that's how their relationship begins. Is like he inadvertently gets stuck in this thing. You dump all of that extra shit in the beginning and just make it very clearly this is the Horus story. And when you introduce Beck, it's because you need to have the human element to attach to there. But by having it all at the same place, it just creates a bunch of confusion, and it ignores what's actually important at the beginning, which is him getting his fucking eyes ripped out. That's like the big deal. Nobody cares that he's like in love with Zara Zamudbaba. Doesn't matter. That doesn't matter at the beginning. It's irrelevant.
Completely.
What matters is actually technically the character who matters is Horace.
Mm-hmm.
And all of his emotional beats are either told to us or they're relayed to us through the human character, which is really frustrating because the person who has the emotional development in this story is Horace. It's not Beck.
Yeah,
Beck is the same guy from the beginning to the end.
I'm super in love with Zaya and I steal stuff at the end. I'm super in love with Zaya and I steal stuff.
To be fair, he's not stealing anymore. Although
he's a king.
He's like
somehow.
He's not a king. He's like the advisor, to Horace. Yeah.
What he's advising him to do, I could not tell you, but
steal.
I mean, steal basically. Yeah, steal stuff. Yeah,
they're both fucking.
That's all he's good at.
Yeah, but like that's what I don't understand is like Horace is the character who is going through the difficulties.
Yeah.
Why is he not the focal character?
I mean, I will tell you, Nikolai's a better actor than the guy who played Beck too.
100%.
Oh my god, that other guy, Charthwaite, Chathelby, Chad Gerbil, whatever.
Want to try that again?
Brenton Thwaites.
Brenton Thwaites?
Sure. Whatever that like regular white person name is.
Brenton Thwaites and Joffrey Rush are the ones who were in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Which one?
Brenton Thwaites was in the newest one.
Oh, does he play
with the like?
He plays Henry Turner.
Yeah, Henry Turner, the child of them.
Whatever.
Oh, that one's not very good.
Most of them aren't. I have not seen that one, and I intend to keep it that way.
It's not great. Don't look.
No,
just
that
keep
one's
the memory
bad.
of the actual good ones in your head, and don't suffer.
Yeah,
don't subject yourself to that.
Now, once they go to like the kids of the
it's ruined. It's over. It's done.
You're like, oh, this is your desperate grasp to squeeze a little more money out of people.
They're doing that to one of my favorite manhwas, and I'm so sad.
I'm so sorry. Well, anyway, okay, so we talked about how much Alex hates the voiceover.
The voiceover that was so confusing. I saw the movie twice and still didn't understand which character was.
To be fair, I only barely picked up on it this second time, and I was still like, but this doesn't make sense. What is happening?
That
here?
makes me feel less stupid because I was like, wow,
it's confusing. If you're paying attention really, really hard, you'll catch it. But if you're not, which is how most people are, you're just gonna be like, what?
I mean, at this point, it's a defense mechanism. If you pay attention to this movie really, really hard, then you'll just be watching it more intently.
I mean, let's be real.
Yeah, you won't get anything else out of it.
If you pay too much attention to this movie, it will start to hurt you.
Yes.
It becomes like an abusive relationship where you're just like sitting here like, why is it emotionally harming me right now? And it's like, yeah, because they wrote dialogue like this is the first movie written by ChatGPT. They just didn't tell us because the dialogue in this movie is some of the worst.
It's so
is this your dislike? Are you ready to move into your dislike?
That's not my dislike because I've got 800 dislikes.
I mean, I gave you the link to my notes from when I saw this the first time. I spent so much time fucking complaining about how awful the fucking dialogue is. Like,
it's terrible.
It's so bad.
It's so bad. It's so badly written.
Even when it's interesting,
and it's delivered even worse.
Oh yeah. Like I said, horse tranquilizers on Chadwick Boseman, like
on everybody. God. Well, some people must have been on cocaine, so.
Gerard Butler.
I mean,
that's why his
you got to do what you got to do. That's fine. Well, Becca, what is your dislike? Go, give me your big one.
I really, absolutely despised every single fight scene.
Yes.
Yeah.
The choreography, fight choreo, was the worst I've ever seen. It was slow and awkward, and nobody moves like that. I don't know who they had on set as their fight choreo person, but they should have been fired immediately because every single fight scene made me want to like tear my own eyes out. It was so bad.
So bad. Yeah. And you get to see it in slow-mo with the circle.
Oh my god!
The
slow-mo fight shots in fight choreo, even when it was at the regular speed, that was already slow. No, I hated every second of it. And so those people did not know how to use spears or staffs at all.
Oh, well, that's normal.
Like, you couldn't take 30 seconds to look up a YouTube video.
No, of course not.
Because that was terrible. Every single second of the fight scenes, I hated. They were all of them were awful.
No part of it's cool. Like
no part of it at all.
It's bizarre.
And this was coming from a movie where they had a ton of people on set and like a couple people in the actual movie who were part of Mad Max Fury Road,
Yeah.
which had awesome fight scenes. How do you go from that to this?
Even the guy Walter Kostow has been in, or Coster Waldau has been in Game of Thrones is his big thing, but like there were better fight scenes in that movie.
Yeah.
Or TV show, whatever.
TV show. Yeah. But like the fight scenes were just so bad, and the fight choreo was horrific, and I hated every second of it.
It's so basic.
It's
very
like,
basic.
Cha, and then sometimes like an elbow goes behind, and like that's like their coolest move. They watch UFC once, and they just did that. Like
so bad.
And I don't understand what they were like they're gods. So like you would think like okay, like they'd be doing like really big hits or like cool like no, that's not what they do. Like they kind of destroy the temple in their first fight set in Horus, but only kind of. I'm like, no, that whole temple should be razed to the ground.
And a bunch more citizens should be dead.
Right. Yeah. When gods fight, it's actually, GTFO.
Just book it out. Otherwise, you're not going to live. But no, it looks like everybody fucking survives, except for some of the soldiers.
Yeah, it's bizarre. And anytime there is like an opportunity for a cool fight, it sort of shirks its responsibility.
Yeah.
Like when he rips the wings off his ex-wife and then kills her.
And it's just like 2 seconds where he chops the wing off and tosses it away.
Well, and apparently he doesn't kill her. I don't know. She's sort of like
he doesn't kill her.
Not dead. I don't know.
But I think he does actually kill her because there is a line later that says she's helping us even from death or something when she sends the chariot.
Yeah.
But I did like how when you removed like part of a god's body or like their power source, it turned into a like sort of a relic. That was a cool like feature.
Yeah.
But it didn't make up for literally anything else in the movie.
No, the fights are pretty bad. They make the movie, especially when we get to the big fights that last for fucking ever. It's not fun. It just drags on. That last fight, I was like, can we just skip?
Can you just like destroy the obelisk faster,
yeah,
please?
I mean, when you're sitting there, like,
can you destroy the dildo faster?
When you're looking at your watch, like, are we done with this fight scene yet? That's a bad sign.
I did like how they made Set like destroy his own
ding dong
temple,
his
whatever,
his
own dick,
and his own baseballs.
But having to watch it happen over like 10 solid minutes was awful.
Yeah.
So yeah, the fight choreo was my least favorite part of this movie, in a movie full of terrible things.
That's a good one. Okay,
Sean, what was your dislike?
I just like everything about this movie, so we're going to go through a few of them real quick.
Cool, that's fine. I'm sure we're going to be sitting there being like, "Yep."
So I want to start with the big bad of the rope. There's not a single Egyptian actor in this movie, unless there's someone in the extras. But none of the spoken parts are Egyptian, or even vaguely almost Egyptian. The people of color who are in this movie may be descended from African populations, but mostly are other forms of people of color that don't come from that particular continent. And that's bananas to me, because then it's like, so you put some people of color in, but then you were just like, but they're all the same, so just pick any one. Like, let's just flip a fucking D20 and see what we get. And they rolled a 1. So there's that. And that's a big problem, because it's a movie set in a part of the world that would not be white as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
But they needed to have Horus be the Jesus character, so that's why he has like semi-long hair and he's white.
That's right. That makes sense. Yeah, because as we know, Jesus,
he was the Jesus analog.
And Jesus wasn't an Arab Jew at all.
We know that Jesus was Danish.
Yes,
true. He was Danish, even though Denmark didn't fucking exist at that point. But that's Danish. Exactly how it works. Yeah, still Danish. Yeah, magic. There's that. I find the fact that basically every woman in this character is useless.
Oh my god! Really all they do is scream and run away.
Oh,
now, I would find that okay if for Zara Zonama,
Zaya,
whatever her name is.
Zaya? Now I forget.
You don't even know.
I forgot. I knew it at the beginning of this recording. I have forgotten.
She's a pointless character. Her only purpose is to be the object of interest for the other male characters.
To motivate little fake baby Indiana
Zaya
with curly hair.
Yeah, so Zarada is that. Yeah.
Just think Zendaya without the EN. ENT.
Zendithustra. Yeah. Got it. Okay. Anyway, It would be fine if it was
Yes.
just her that was that way, because like there's nothing in her character that suggests to us that she's particularly like physically strong or is like a fighter or any of those
Yeah,
things.
like
Yeah.
I mean, she just
kind
has
of,
faith in the gods and is getting.
and she organizes really well.
Yeah, she's.
Mhm.
Supposedly.
She's
No,
just
she
talking
organizes
back into,
like crap.
believing in Horus or whatever, some bullshit.
Yeah, whatever.
Like they literally get caught because she can't organize.
Well, no, it's not that she can't organize. She puts the scroll back, but it's blank, and he
Oh,
finds
right.
out.
Right. I forgot.
So, in fact, it was organized. It's just she tried to hide a theftery.
Why didn't he just memorize the fucking scroll
Because he's
and
an
then
idiot.
put it back?
He doesn't deserve her.
But then he memorizes how to get into the other place.
I mean, yes, but like, okay, look, plot contrivance, okay?
Yeah.
Let's also not talk
I'm
about the fact
disgusted.
that this movie just casually suggests like, oh, we're just gonna have a dozen babies because fucking of course. And it's like, man,
And the man is the one who says, we'll have a dozen children. And I'm like,
Like-
you didn't, like, you're not the one who gives birth.
also
Get the
like,
fuck out.
fucker, you don't do anything. You just steal shit.
How are you,
You
going to care
have-
for 12
You've got
children?
no job. You've got nothing going on where you could afford to feed like one kid, let alone 12. What? No, like I'm not the one kind of person that's like you should only marry for money, but like fucker, go get a fucking job. Do something. You're not even trying to get into the afterlife. You're just like fucking
Ancient
laying
Egyptian Duggars.
There. Oh, it's
Oh, boy.
ridiculous. He's basically like he's like the stereotype of like like a skater bro, basically.
He is kind
Anyway,
of
there's that.
useless.
Yeah. Yeah, he's well, we'll come back to this. Anyway, so and then almost all of the other women who have speaking roles are goddesses.
Mhm.
Only one of which really gets to do anything,
Is
and
Hathor.
really not kinda.
And
She-
sacrifices herself.
and then she sacrifices herself. But otherwise, they all just kind of stand around or get beat up or murdered, or some combination therein. And it's sort of like, but they're goddesses. Like they should be like when the big fight happens, when Set's like, I'm gonna get my ex-wife because yeah, like, ooh, man, it's not like you need a restraining order, you fucking asshole. He shows up and like she doesn't even fight at all. Like
Nope.
what?
She just puts her wings over a dying man and the man's
Oh,
wife.
that's at the beginning. They just protect dying people. I meant
Yeah.
when Set goes after her at her.
Oh, right. And all
temple.
she does is try to fly away and can't fly away despite the fact that she has giant wings.
Well, because he grabbed
also,
her
like-
wing, so apparently,
Yeah, well,
oh, I got your
yeah.
wing.
yeah,
I
just
got your
lift a
wing.
couple feathers, babe.
Yeah, but also like she just sat there while all of her people got like massacred by Set. She's basically useless. So
She
women
was
are
just
useless in
sitting
this
there
world.
praying,
Yeah.
I guess.
And that's a little frustrating because they're not useless in the actual mythology. Like they do lots of shit.
Oh yeah, no, they're pretty badass.
They're pretty vicious in the mythology.
So there's that. That sucks.
Yeah.
The incomprehensible plot is a problem, but we already know that because we
Oh,
talked about
God,
it.
doesn't
I will
make any
also just note that
What plot?
what plot? Yeah. I will also just say that I absolutely cannot stand two other things. One of which is not my main dislike, and one of which is. And I know I'm cheating, and I just don't give a shit.
That's
because
fine.
It's
Your
okay.
podcast,
Doesn't-
man. You have to
Yeah,
edit
we're here
yourself.
for it.
I don't have
Yeah,
to edit this. No,
we're
this
not
is
the
just
ones
going out
editing
raw.
this.
Nice.
Uh,
You're just gonna raw dog this podcast.
I'm just like Set and Horace.
We're doing a lot of raw dogging today.
Anyway, can I just say,
Use condom, kids.
please stop making ancient theft things where there is an incomprehensible string of booby traps, which serve
There's
no
a third
purpose
bridge
because you
It's
could
insanity.
just go around them. He could just get a rope and swing over them. It makes
No, he
why
was
is
very
it-
bad at swinging on ropes, actually.
well. He was.
I
really
know they
bad.
had him swinging on ropes, but he was very bad at it.
I don't
He was.
understand the point of the booby traps, but in any case, my actual dislike is Chadwick Boseman in this.
Oh.
And it's so disappointing because we love Chadwick Boseman. Rest in peace.
What the fuck was he doing?
I'm telling you, horse
It is-
tranquilizers.
It is the most bizarre set of line deliveries I have seen.
And what even was that accent?
I don't know. That's what it
Like,
just kept changing. Like he
was
was
it?
sometimes British, and then he was like something else, and then he was confused, like he was drunk. Like it made no sense. And he had the diction, the way he said lines. It was like, this is what I wanted him to stop talking, even though his character literally that's all he does is he just talks about knowledge. But it's the most frustrating thing to watch. He was just like,
And then he gets the riddle wrong like 4 times.
well, that was kind of fun because it's fun watching Horace get punched around by a Sphinx. But
That was good. But also, I wanted a pretty Sphinx, and I got
you got
whatever
that,
the fuck that
fucking
was.
creepy thing.
I did not
Yeah.
understand what was going on.
Like,
with that.
It's just
and then it says "Oh bugger" and disappears.
oh bother,
An
oh
ex-
bother,
an
is what it
bother,
says.
whatever.
British
It-
Sphinx.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said
Incomprehensible.
it spent too long in the British National Museum.
Except that didn't exist at this point.
You're not
It
wrong.
time traveled.
Mythology, it's fine.
Oh, that's fair.
It all works.
Yeah, it is bizarre some of the choices made in this movie.
Yes.
The accents, like there are like 18 different accents. Some are American, some are British, some are trying not to be Scottish, but yeah.
But failing.
There's whatever Chadwick Boseman is doing. Like it's just like
Terrible. All of it was terrible.
it's really
It
strange.
was,
Alex Price, what the fuck were you thinking?
As of 2021, this was his last like big directorial thing. He's only done short films since.
Probably for the best, bud. I don't like to be that mean, but like you need to do some soul
You could have
searching.
done better, my guy.
This movie's bananas.
it's yeah.
It's something.
It's so bad. It's just
It hurts. I just feel bad that Chadwick Boseman was in this.
I mean, he went on to make better movies afterwards, which is good.
Thank goodness.
Like if
But
this
yeah,
had
he
been the
did
last
his-
movie he'd been in, I would have been like, "Ooh, fuck."
That would have been terrible.
I just
Thank God it was Black Panther.
Why this movie?
Much better legacy to leave than Gods of Egypt.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
he's very good in Black Panther. He's very good in some of the other films he's been in.
Mhm.
It's remarkable that the performance he gave in this is just incomprehensibly obnoxious.
Right?
Obnoxious and terrible, and like if you're the god of knowledge, I would assume you'd be so excited to talk to people who have different knowledge than you.
I mean,
And instead he's like, bitch, I'm the god of knowledge. Fuck off.
Yeah. Although he's really hard for that lettuce.
I mean, this is the thing that is just fucking remarkable to me. Also, remember, like, so the first time we saw Chadwick Boseman as T'Challa was in Civil War, which came
Mhm.
out the same year as this movie.
He's way better
Wait,
in that
what?
movie.
Yeah, they both came out in 2016.
And he's
Oh
way better in
my
that movie.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, which one came out first? So this one came out in May.
Like,
Gods of Egypt.
isn't
I
that
really hope they put this in
insane?
February to die quietly because that's what it deserved.
And you know, I just, you know, pulled him up on IMDb to say, okay, so what he went on to do after Gods of Egypt. Okay, so of course he had, you know, Civil War, Black Panther, Infinity
It was in
War,
February.
Endgame. But he
Yeah.
also did Marshall, in which he played Thurgood Marshall,
Mhm.
21 Bridges, To Five Bloods, and Ma Rainey's Black Bottom.
So wow, this was really his like throwaway.
This was like
I
his
needed a little
mid-year.
more money.
yeah.
Yeah.
I hope
He's
he got
done
a very
lot
good
of good
paycheck.
ones.
Yeah.
I mean, he's done a bunch of films that were better than this. Even some of the stuff he did before that. He did Get On Up as James Brown.
I mean, he was Jackie Robinson in 2013 in 42.
He went
Yeah.
from a movie that made 150.7 million to a movie that made 1.153 billion dollars.
Yeah.
In 3 months.
It's got to be one of those things where like he took the job and it was a different project when he took it and he was just locked in contractually.
He just wanted to chill after filming Civil War, his Civil War
Probably.
bit. He just wanted like a nice chill movie.
Maybe
He
that's what
regretted
wanted.
that. He regretted that decision.
Probably. Yeah. If you want to understand for folks that are listening to this nonsense, seriously, just watch some clips. You'll the delivery is bizarre.
Yeah.
It's so wooden, and like they are just reading. They had somebody in their ear delivering those lines as they were saying them.
Yeah. And it's just like you would understand immediately if you start hearing like the way he reads the lines. There's like a weird rhythm to it. and it doesn't work. It
Yeah,
it
It does
is.
not work.
It's so
Strange.
weird. It's fucking bizarre. Like I don't
get it.
yeah.
I don't understand what happened. Also, can we just talk about the fact that the evil villain set is cannibalizing body parts of other gods, and at the end has a brain, wings, one of Horus's eyes, and Ra's spear, and yet conveniently seems to fight just as effectively as if he didn't have those things against someone who actually has technically less power than before.
Yes, but Horus listened to Granddaddy Ra and had grown as
True.
a person, and Set had not.
That's true. Well, I think we can begin the process of winding down because I think we've hit it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think we covered everything that we needed to cover, and
Yeah. So that
it was
means
a terrible movie.
so bad.
final thoughts and
I
grades.
mean, it makes me
which-
sad to know that I've now watched this movie. I've now given this movie 4 hours of my life.
4 hours
You're
and
welcome.
14 minutes of your life have been spent on this movie.
Mhm.
Thank God there weren't any post-credit scenes. That was the first thing I Googled when we hit the credits. I was like, please tell me there aren't any.
I did the
Because for
exact
Land
same
of the
thing.
Lost, I made
I
I
don't,
like
I don't
Googled
watch
and I was
the
like,
fucking post-credit scenes if they put. I'm like, the credits roll. I'm the fuck out of here. You could not
Fair fun.
stop me from getting out of this place.
There were
Oh my
none, but
God.
they did try to make a sequel. But
that was
Alex,
so terrible.
your final thoughts and grade.
Mm-hmm.
My final thoughts are this movie is bad and should feel bad for all of the reasons outlined above, but especially because it besmirches the memory of Chadwick Boseman.
Mhm.
God, I'm still mad about the fact that I've seen it twice and couldn't figure out who the voiceover was supposed to be. That tells you how fucking bad the voiceover is.
Yeah.
Terrible. Utterly
Oh,
terrible.
it's just bad and it's boring. Like it's always wonderful when you get an action movie and you're just like the action sequences are actively boring. Like they make
Yeah.
the movie feel like it's lasting longer. It's just not good. I'm gonna go ahead and give this one an F.
Fair.
Because
Becca,
fuck
this now takes it to you. What do you got?
So I hated the movie in general, but because I did get to see some quality cleavage, I'll give it a D
Oh, Becca, I'm disappointed in you.
minus.
D for
Okay.
D for
That's a little
Dennis.
better.
You didn't let me finish.
You-
It's a D minus.
you
The cleavage was great, but the rest of the movie just couldn't pull it up enough. Because there wasn't any ass, and even on the statues had a flat ass. It was 2016. Kardashians were still like the Kardashians were popular. What are you doing?
It's
I
because the
mean-
movie's full of white people.
It's
The
also,
movie is full of white
I
people.
mean, it's also worth noting that the
We are
Kardashian
noted
ass
to have
is fake.
flat asses. That's
I
like
mean,
one
yes, of
our
course, every ass is
characteristics.
fake.
My ass is natural, thank you very much.
Every
ass is fake.
Kardashian ass. I'm so sorry. Every Kardashian
Be
ass is fake.
specific. Okay, I am
I have
all
to be
natural. Okay.
I did.
I came by
I did
my
make
flat
a.
ass, honestly.
I did. I was kind of proud of the molten lava bath, the newest Kardashian skincare joke that I made
Oh, that was fun.
in the live chat. But yeah, overall, I give this movie a D minus because
Got it.
it fucking sucked.
So
but I did
here's
get to
why I
see
will
some
try to
quality
argue
cleavage.
you into going down to an F because
Okay,
there is no D in this movie.
you're so right. I'll give it an F plus.
There you go.
You're so right.
This
It
movie
gets an F
lacks
plus
all
because there's
D.
no D in this
There's
movie.
no D. Even though it's an Egypt movie, no D.
No D.
No D.
And there should have been D.
There needed to be a
On the
lot more
lettuce.
D if this was about
There should have been a lettuce wrapped D
Yup.
in this movie,
Yep.
and I didn't get it, and I'm disappointed. So it gets an F plus.
I'm just gonna say some posts. So I had to, I had to approve this post because
You had to
Twitch-
approve the semen lettuce.
I'm sorry, Jerv. Twitch flagged semen lettuce as potentially a spam or other problematic statement. So I had to
It's
approve.
educational, thank you.
Yeah, it's a myth. I got my classical studies minor for this moment.
To talk about semen lettuce.
Yes.
Oh,
How often do you
Even though I focused on primarily Latin and Roman
but I mean, how
mythology.
often do you get to use your degree in your regular life?
Not often.
Not often enough.
that's a good point. Yeah, it's more proof
Not
that
often.
all those classes you took weren't actually worthless.
In my defense, half of the minor was the Latin classes that I had to take to get my Bachelor of Arts.
Oh,
Man, you had to do.
So I
can you
didn't wanna
say
take
can you
Spanish
say
again.
semen, lettuce, and Latin?
No,
Oh.
I can't.
Wow,
you-
What good
Becca!
is
Wow,
Latin?
what the fuck
give me
was
a
the
second.
point? Oh
Look,
my
give me a
god! No,
second.
don't. Okay, Google it.
Give me
Okay,
a
why
second.
not? This is bad.
Semen. There is no direct translation for semen into Latin.
What is another word we could use to refer to semen?
But lettuce is lactuta.
Well, this is a-
Lactuca. There we go.
Lactuca.
Lactuca.
Lactuca. Okay. Anyway, let's maybe move on because I've realized we have said the word semen a lot. And we
You're
should
welcome,
probably
citizen.
stop. Anyway, as a reminder, please refer back to your health classes from high school. Semen is a form of biological fluid that is used sometimes in reproduction, although it can be sometimes used non-biologically for other purposes, including spackling a house and lettuce.
Putting it on a lettuce wrap and giving it to a god you hate.
Sure, that is one delivery method. that
It's
you can,
certainly
in
one
fact,
way to
use.
get inside it.
Okay, we're my final thoughts. Oh god, this is so gross now. I'm gonna regret this podcast.
You're welcome.
And you didn't regret the rest of them?
No,
Come on.
this one's gone pretty
Off the rails.
Ooh, this is like, I'm glad we're listed as mature on Twitch because we'd be in some trouble.
POS.
Yeah. In any case, I will just say that I hate this movie. It's bad in almost every way. When it's good, it doesn't make up for how utterly boring it is. It's just not a fun movie, which sucks because it has one great moment, which is the raw moment we've talked about. And then the rest of the movie is just gloriously dull. So for that reason, I'll give it an F.
Because there's no D.
Yeah.
Because
There's no D.
that really isn't a high criteria point for me. I don't necessarily need D
Well,
in a movie. I also
I'm
don't
just saying
require
it's an Egypt
cleavage.
movie with
There
no
were
D.
also no man titties, no middies.
There were no
So
middies.
No, there was. You saw Gerard Butler's chest.
we didn't.
Yeah. And also
Not enough middies.
Costa Waldorf.
then.
Well, okay, that's a separate problem.
Not enough middies.
Okay,
You're
I
right.
just want you to
Costa
know
was not
that every
naked
time you
enough.
say Coster Waldorf instead of Nikolai,
I hate
no,
it.
all I can think is you're actually talking about the fucking, and I know it's not their names, but the two Muppets that do the movie stuff.
Yeah. Waldorf and what's his
I don't-
dick?
yeah.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Yeah, my
You
brain
got
is
dicks
just
on the
Waldorf,
brain, my
but I'm
guy.
like, what? The Muppet was not in this movie. God damn it.
No, it wasn't, but that would have
This
been
movie
more
could
fun.
only have been improved by the addition of Muppets.
True.
I honestly would love it. I mean, I don't know how they would do it, but if they did like basically an MST3K, but it was those two just like ripping into how dumb this movie is, that would be
Oh,
fucking
God.
funny.
Yeah, that I would watch.
Yeah. I would
would
watch
do.
that too.
Well, that's why I want the sequel to Knives Out, but with Muppets.
That'd be fun.
Daniel Craig has said he will do it.
Really?
I want the Knives Out sequel with
You mean-
Muppets.
Glass Onion.
Well, either one.
So,
Okay.
They're in the same series. Knives Out is the more recognizable title.
I mean, I feel like at
I
that
mean-
point you should do like,
What I'm saying is I want more Muppet murder.
yes.
Fair. That's a fair point.
I just want Daniel Craig living his best life.
Yes, absolutely.
He's living it right now.
He's
Uh,
having fun.
He's free of James Bond.
Yeah.
He is free.
Now he has a gloriously weird Southern accent.
It's really fun.
I mean, I still love the fact.
Anyways.
Like my favorite fact about those movies is still they were thinking about having him do a different ridiculous accent in every movie, and then they just decided to keep the Southern one because they were like, the joke might not land. But can you imagine like how that would have
I don't. Yeah, that would get a little bit weird. Like, why is he changing his accent all the time? I don't know. They got drunk. And... Is it a gay? Oh,
He's just
they'll probably do that anyway.
Yum.
Yeah. I mean, the fun fact is that most people didn't know this, but apparently Daniel Craig is part of the gay agenda. So
He is. He
Mm.
gave us the Great Gay Detective now. So
yeah, he is in fact coming for your kids. So watch out. Anyway, okay, folks, that's it. So if you have any thoughts and you weren't here for the live show, please go to skiffyandfanty.com/listener suggestions, which is where you can send us feedback, or if you have opinions about this movie or you want to suggest other movies, whatever. You can also follow us on all the social media sites. We're at Skiffy Fanty, basically every social media site. So you should be able to find us there. But we also have a link tree, linktr.ee/skiffyandfanty, where you can find us at various places. We're mostly on Mastodon, Twitter, and Facebook. So there you go. And Instagram. You can get the newsletter at skiffyandfanty.com/newsletter, which is run by Stephen Geigen Miller. It's really lovely. You get to learn about all the stuff we're up to. And if you like what we do, there are 2 easy ways to support the show. One is patreon.com/skiffyandfanty if you want to just give us money. The other is reviews on iTunes and so on. And obviously social media posts is really nice because it makes sure people find us. So folks that are live with us, I don't know, go to the internet and let people know we exist. Yeah, for me, I'm in many places. I'm SeanDuke.net for my website, which you can find all of my stuff there. Alphabet streams on Twitch. I stream Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7 o'clock. Next week will be the last time until June because I will be out of town. Then I'm at patreon.com/joyfactory. I'm also on lots of things like Mastodon and Twitter at linktree/SeanDuke. And I do a thing called The Histories at SeanDuke.net/thehistories in case you're bored.
And you can find me at BeccaE96 on Twitter, at Dicey Druid on Twitch, and on a couch somewhere reading comics while plotting world domination with my cat army.
all right, and you can find me at katsudon.net, and I'm nominally on Twitter at katsudonbury, though I don't go onto the Hell site very often since Elon Musk took
Hell
over because it's awful. And if you want to know the cool thing that I'm currently working on for Six to Start and Marvel Comics, you can go to zrx.app/Marvel and you can find out about Marvel Move, and I wrote the word Loki for it.
You got to write the best characters.
Yep, you have to work on Loki and Thor.
Loki, come on, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool. Congratulations, Alex. 6 million points to you.
Thank you for keeping your arms and legs inside the chariot during this podcast. We'll see you next time.
Yeah. But we have to make it awkward.
Oh,
It
you know.
already feels a little awkward, but
I mean, we talked about semen lettuce so much.
semen.
So much semen on lettuce. Folks, if somebody hands you lettuce with some dressing that you don't immediately recognize, don't eat it. They might be trying to dominate you.
That's a different way for vegans to get their revenge, I guess. Jesus.
Okay,
And
no, I will say one small thing that I did appreciate is when Horace is like a dick to Beck and is like, go get me water, and then Beck spits in the canteen.
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
unfortunately, he doesn't drink it.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah, because
sucks.
the bulls show up. The
Ah,
bulls did look kind of neat, and so did Anubis.
that's fair. Oh,
Anyway,
good.
but yeah.
Anyway.
I was like, we've all been Beck when we did our time in the service industry.
That's true. I knew a guy once. I want to tell you a story, and then I will awkward ending the podcast portion before I close out the Twitch stream. But real quick, I knew a guy when I worked in fast food who I'm pretty sure now is in prison. And he told me that this cop used to come in and was just like a dick to him. I don't know if the cop was actually a dick to him. He just what he tells me. So one day he decided to put hand sanitizer in the cop's Sprite and basically poisoned the cop. I mean, the cop was fine, but like he just had backdoor problems for the rest of the day. Don't get me wrong. I've definitely considered like, gosh, I could spit in this person's tacos because they're being an asshole. I had thought about it. I never did it. But I guarantee you, if you're rude to fast food people, you are eating some other fluids that you did not intend to
Or,
eat.
the floor burger.
You might get the floor burger. You might be getting spit, snot, boogers, some combination. Be nice to people who touch your food.
Or getting upcharged.
Or getting upcharged. Yep, that happens too. Yeah.
Or upcharged for a floor burger.
Or a floor burger. And if you're really not
Okay, no
careful,
los dos.
you could end up with semen lettuce. So, and on that note, awkward ending and scene.
And see.
You're welcome, citizens.
Bye.
If you want to support this show, you can go to patreon.com/skiffyandfanty or skiffyandfanty.com, our website, where you can get access to all of our fancy things. Our music comes from Holy Mole. You can support him and his work at patreon.com/holymole. Thank you for listening.